Milton's Adventure, a Milton story, narrated by Ed Pawncroft. Chapter 6, The Quest for Herobrine. Milton and Jamie appeared through what Milton quickly identified as the fire escape door around the back of the Bristol branch of Jamie's Italian, located at the zenith of the major shopping thoroughfare, Park Street. "Why are we here? I don't want to wait out here again," whined Milton, recalling one day last summer where he had waited around the back of the restaurant beneath a cardboard box for 8 hours, Jamie appearing only intermittently to feed him loose scraps of Parma ham. Jamie removed his Pekingese toque blanche hat and slicked back his greasy hair. "Is Bristol, Milton? I thought you wanted to be back here." Milton responded gruffly. "You could have dropped me back at the house." "Well, listen, I've got to be here anyway for a meeting. The restaurant's run into a bit of trouble with TripAdvisor reviews recently, and I've had to sell a bunch of shares. Anyway, I've got to brief you on the next demon. Get out your list." Milton fumbled around in his leather pockets and pulled out the grubby list of demons. Jamie clapped his hands. "Right, okay, yep. Now you know what I was saying about you being in luck about wanting to just stay at home and play Minecraft?" Milton looked up, his interest piqued once more. "Yeah?" "Well, the next demon is number 42 on the list. None other than the legendary Herobrine." Milton's jaw dropped. "No way." Jamie nodded. "Yeah, that's right, my boy. Herobrine is real, and he's hiding in your favourite computer game." Milton was almost speechless. "What? How? I thought he was just an internet myth that was limited exclusively to the virtual world." Jamie shook his head. "No, Milton, think again. Herobrine is a great evil that has been trapped inside a computer game since its creation. How you will go about coaxing him out and defeating him is completely up to you, but I'm sure it will keep you out of trouble for a bit." Milton's mind was racing. "So, how do I do it? Do I hack in? Oh my god, is it going to be scary? Like in the creepypasta?" "What's this about pasta? Listen, you can do this any way you want. I'm putting my trust in you to do this properly. There's not much room for error here, and it's not in another world or anything. You can probably just do this from your bedroom or something." Milton grinned ear to ear. "Epic, Dad. I can't wait to tell my friends about this." Jamie turned suddenly, looming over Milton. "Milton, listen to me. Under no circumstances can you tell anyone about your adventures. No one in reality can know about the Pucker realm, or Krog, or the demons, or any of that. Once they do, all hell is gonna break loose. It's a recipe for disaster. Don't do it. This adventure has to be done alone. Got it?" Milton scowled. "Okay, fine." "Right, now I need to give you a quick briefing on what to do if someone does find out about your ability to travel to other worlds." Jamie was interrupted as the restaurant's manager noticed him through the musty window, yelling something to the effect of, "Jamie's here." "Shit, Milton, lay low. Get behind that biffer bin over there. I'll brief you in a sec." "Fuck's sake. Not again," Milton grumbled as Jamie ushered him down behind the bin and left him to attend restaurant business. Milton listened to his father disappear back through the fire escape as he crouched in a puddle of vinaigrette. "Right, John, we need to swap out that onion soup recipe with shallots, because I reckon they hold more flavour." The conversation drifted out of earshot, and Milton was left alone behind the dumpster. "Fuck's sake. This always happens. He always just leaves me." Milton looked down at his shoes, sodden from the overflow of dressing. He noted that they had curiously changed colour from the faded burgundy he was so familiar with to a ripe navy blue. He stared in confusion for a few minutes, until he recalled what Jamie had said about prolonged usage of space transmutation and how it could have any number of complicated side effects. He gave himself the old once-over to check if everything was normal, and thankfully he was not any worse off. Milton waited for an hour or so behind the big red bin, before ultimately giving up and clambering out from behind, vaulting the backyard wall and jogging quickly down the side alley to come out into the bustling and vibrant Park Street. If what Jamie had to tell him was that important, then he would have come back sooner. After a quick stop in Greg's for a cheese slice, Milton made the decision to perambulate in the direction of Clifton, where he would likely find his good friends Craig Jefferhys and Tom Bolden, otherwise known by their Minecraft usernames, Mohuvis and Darksluff, both nonsensical words which held little to no meaning. It seemed to be late June or early July, and the smell of summer was hot on the air. Bristol was no place for leather attire in this climate, and Milton soon found himself sweating, chafing and attracting many a prolonged stare. He once again retracted to a back alley, and swapped out his leathers for a spare pair of beige cargo shorts and a t-shirt that he kept at the bottom of his backpack at all times. Now the meat of his inner thighs could enjoy the gentle breeze at will, a welcome notion as Milton was fast advancing on Constitution Hill, known locally for its intense 15-degree incline. After a tiring tread up the steep gradient, Milton made his way to the Clifton Wood area, a high-class district inhabited by the upper echelon of Bristol folk. Milton had once felt unwelcome here, but things had changed since he had been to other worlds and other dimensions. His perspective had shifted, and now he felt like any place on the whole of Earth could be his home. Milton knocked on Tom Bolden's front door, deciding that he would find his friends there. He knew all too well that they had been recording and uploading Let's Play videos to the Miltoncraft channel in his absence, a notion that he disliked somewhat, but could do little about, since his allegiance to his father required him to disappear for long periods of time. "It's my channel," murmured Milton under his breath without realizing. A small boy opened the door, Tom Bolden's younger brother, by the name of Magnus Bolden, a squat chap with hair akin to a chestnut in both shape and colour. "Hey, Magnus," greeted Milton, pushing past the young boy and entering the cluttered yet homely abode.
"Hi, Milton. Craig and Tom are upstairs,"
squeaked Magnus, falling against the coat rack with a light bump. Milton fleeted up the stairs towards Tom Bolden's room, where the raucous sounds of Let's Playing could be heard. Milton's expression soured. Why should they be having fun making videos without him while he was off doing jobs for his dad? It wasn't fair. Milton then imagined how they would react when he told them about the mission he was about to embark on, and grinned toothily, bounding up the last flight of stairs and pausing to listen into the room. The familiar voice of Craig, Milton's best friend, could be heard muffled through the door.
Okay, welcome back to another hot episode of the Altitudinal Architectural Ascension, or the AAA Experience as we like to call it. Today I'm joined by my good friend Darksluff.
The clear and concise tone of Tom Bolden joined Craig.
Hey guys, it's Darksluff here. D to the C, it's Miltoncraft time.
Milton's eye twitched at the misappropriation of their channel's opening catchphrase. What was this new series they were recording? Didn't they know that it could never top the original Darkcraft Let's Play series? Milton could not take any more of this insolence. He had to intervene. Milton kicked the door open, and Tom Bolden and Craig span around in shock, revealing equally stunned expressions.
Milton?
Cried Craig, astonished. That's right, Craig. I'm back, declared Milton, hands on hips. Craig gibbered uncontrollably.
But I thought you were on holiday in the German Alps.
Milton opened his mouth to announce the epic news, but suddenly remembered that Jamie had ordered him not to tell anyone about his adventures, and that he would have to keep up the previous alibi that he was hiking in Germany with his friend Matthew Galliford. Well, I came back, didn't I? I can't be on holiday forever.
You don't look very tanned, Milton,
interjected Tom Bolden wittily. Milton retorted, snapping at Bolden. Well, it's the Alps. It's cold. Of course I'm not tanned, you fucking idiot!
What's that knife on your belt?
Queried Craig. Milton suddenly realised that he had neglected to remove his pucker bayonet from its scabbard around his waist. A travelling German trader gave it to me for skinning sheep. Well, what do you think? We didn't need to stay warm in the Alps with all that cold in the Alps? Tom and Craig looked at each other in confusion. Milton marched up towards Tom's impressive desktop gaming PC, complete with an X1 CD tray, a dual pair of Sony PVM 8040 Trinitron 8-inch colour surveillance CRT monitors, and a single fan capable of 250 rotations per second. He gazed upon the screen. A world of blocks lay before him. Trees of a cuboid nature, and grass textures comprised entirely of squares. This was undoubtedly Minecraft. What's all this then? Playing Minecraft without me? What was it you called it? AAA? Ultra Trading Architecture Ascension? Sounds like bullshit to me. Milton grabbed the mouse from Craig's hand and jerked it around aggressively. What's with all this floating island bollocks? Where's Milton Island, eh? What happened to that?
Milton, please. We need to put out videos or people will lose interest. It's not our fault that you keep leaving for months at a time,
pleaded Craig desperately. I've been busy. Milton found himself wanting to explain everything, but again held back at the behest of his father. My dad keeps making me go on, holidays. Craig rolled his eyes.
Jamie's always making you do stuff. First it was Mallorca, then the Alps. I know he's a celebrity TV chef, but surely he should just let you do your own thing.
Milton bit his lip. He couldn't keep the secret any longer. He had to tell the boys the truth. Guys, I haven't been truthful with you. Milton exhaled deeply through his nose. The reason I've really been away for so long is because... I've been going to other dimensions and fighting demons. My dad's part of a secret cult of chefs in a world that's a giant forest that goes on forever, and they used to worship this god called Krog, who is now evil, and there's put 55 of these demons everywhere, and I use a knife to kill them, and then when I do, this glass I have called the Bloodstone Chalice fills up and makes me stronger! Craig and Tom stared at Milton blankly, mouths agape. For the next half hour or so, Milton explained all of his adventures to his friends, including his journey to Rodworld, Ormia, and the Pucker Realm, and his various run-ins with the demons. Craig stammered pathetically in disbelief.
So you're saying there's more realities than just the Earth we know?
Yes, Craig. So many more. And I can go to any of them if I just hit my head against the door and walk through it.
Sounds like you've been hitting your head against a few too many doors, if you ask me,
quipped Tom Bolden, quickly receiving a sharp blow to the forehead from Milton. You're not taking this seriously. Do you realise how much danger I've put us all in for telling you this? You better keep this a secret or Jamie's gonna kill me. Craig stood up, desperately attempting to make sense of the situation.
Vampires, peanut men, and the chalice? I knew that thing was more than just a glass the second you brought it back. You were always stroking it and taking it to bed with you.
Milton raised his arms. Indeed, my friends. I may have withheld the truth from you once, but now you know everything. However, there is one last incredible piece of information I have for you regarding my next objective. The boys stared intently.
Well, go on. Tell us,
prompted Tom Bolden. Okay, you're not going to believe this, but to slay the next demon, we're going to have to go to... inside Minecraft! The boys' eyeballs nearly popped out of their skulls. Craig babbled.
What? No way!
Tom Bolden shook his head and folded his arms.
No, it's impossible, it can't be done.
Milton shook his head, smiling coyly. That's what you think, bros, but with the unlimited powers of space transmutation, I can do anything. Watch this. Milton approached Tom Bolden's monitor and smacked his head into it, causing a few cacti behind it to topple.
Hey! Be careful!
Cried Tom Bolden in anguish. Shh! I'm going to go inside the computer. Milton shut his eyes and put his fingers to his temples, straining really hard to try and get some magic to take place. A few seconds passed, and nothing happened.
Milton, are you sure this is going to do anything?
Shut the fuck up, Craig! You think you can just rush magic space travel? You think this is easy? Milton returned to straining, gritting his teeth and moaning loudly. Tom Bolden spoke up.
So, does this usually happen?
Milton stopped straining with a gasp. I don't understand. This doesn't usually happen. I guess that my powers don't see this as a door. It is a computer monitor after all. We're going to have to find another way of getting into Minecraft. Craig rubbed his beardy chin.
Well, I guess we could go and ask Notch, right? He's the guy who made Minecraft.
Milton snapped his fingers. Perfect! Tom Bolden whinged.
Milton, this doesn't make any sense. Human beings can't go inside games. What's a demon doing inside Minecraft anyway?
Oh yeah, guys, said Milton excitedly. I forgot to say, the demon we have to kill is Herobrine.
No way! Like Notch's dead brother, Herobrine?
Asked an astounded Craig. The very same. Now let's go and find Notch. I can space transmutate through any door, and if I think about it really hard, I'm sure we'll end up where he is. Let's go. We have no time to waste. Craig looked sideways at Tom Bolden and back to Milton with guilty eyes.
Milton, Me and Tom kind of just want to stay here and record more episodes.
Tom Bolden chimed in.
Yeah, Milton, I don't really know about any of this. I'm not sure if we should be meddling or getting involved with any of your secret mission stuff.
Craig interjected.
Also, I've got to meet up with my friend Baz later on to play FIFA.
Milton looked around at his friend, turning a shade of red. What? Who the fuck is Baz? No! This will be fun, you fucking assholes! I've invited you on a mission across time and space to go inside Minecraft, and you just want to sit in a chair and play fucking Minecraft! Craig bit his lip.
But we have a video to put out tonight. We were this close to finding diamonds.
Milton stepped forwards and grabbed Craig's arm. The computer's not going anywhere, Craig. Plus, that series will probably be deleted off the channel in like 3 years anyway. We're going to find Notch, and we're going now! Milton ignored any more protests from his friends as he turned back around to Tom Bolden's bedroom door, smashing his head against it and opening it. Go through! Go, go, go! Milton ushered the boys through the door, disregarding any complaints. Milton followed them through, smiling at Craig's reaction.
Whoa! What the hell? What's happening?
Milton closed the door behind them, and what was once Tom Bolden's hallway slowly gave way to a strange swirling rainbow vortex. Colours that never existed until now danced and pulsated all around them. The faces of his friends were frightened yet amazed, and slowly began to grow warped and contorted by the potent spatial wizardry. Alright guys, hold my hands! This is gonna be a bumpy ride! Whoa! It was freezing cold. So cold, in fact, that Milton could not move his fingers. Where had space transmutation taken them? Sweden? The frigid Nordic home of Notch? Or perhaps the German Alps through some kind of freak misjudgment? Try as he might, Milton could not open his eyes to see. Just as Milton became convinced that they had been teleported inside some kind of iceberg, something gave way before him, and he felt himself fall forwards to land flat with a slap on a glossy surface. What the heck? Came a voice from above. Milton felt his body temperature thaw rapidly. He was able to open his eyes and looked up to see none other than the bearded Swedish Minecraft creator Notch, aka Markus Persson, standing over him, clutching 2 bags of flaming hot Cheetos and sporting his classic black felt fedora. Milton grinned, starstruck. He tried to get up, but instantly slipped over again. Notch! Hey! He murmured with difficulty because of the large amount of ice lining the back of his throat. Another figure joined Notch's side, a short middle-aged man of Hispanic descent wearing a red and black uniform.
What is going on? Excuse me, sir. How did you get in here?
Asked the man, lifting Milton to his feet. Milton looked around. He was in some kind of convenience store. Shelves all around him were lined with tasty snacks and treats. Milton picked out several brands. Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar, Hostess Jumbo Donuts, Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream Potato Chips. He recognized these brands, but not from first-hand experience. These were American brands.
How did you get in the freezer, sir?
Asked the Hispanic man again, evidently a store clerk. A badge sewn into his shirt indicated that the store was 7-Eleven, a shop Milton was familiar with by proxy from watching a lot of American telly. Milton stared at the man in confusion. The freezer? Milton turned to see the limp, unconscious bodies of Tom Bolden and Craig hanging out of the fridge behind him, among many refreshing beverages including, but not limited to, Gatorade, Pib Extra, Mountain Dew Typhoon, and Milton's personal favourite, A&W's Root Beer. Notch, who had stood watching from next to a stand of extra spicy Slim Jims, spoke up. I would like to get to the refrigerator for a crate of drink, so if you could move it would be nice. The Hispanic man put a hand on Milton's shoulder, his tired, lifeless eyes looking into his.
I have to ask you to move, but stay in the store so I can call police. You're not supposed to be in the freezer, sir, okay?
The man left to return to the counter. Milton ducked down and slapped the cheeks of his friends. Guys, wake up! We're in America! I completely forgot that Notch moved here after he sold Minecraft and Microsoft last year. Notch stared down at the teenagers, confused for a moment, then pushed past the stirring body of Craig to pick up a crate of sparkling LaCroix from the bottom of the fridge. He then shrugged and turned silently to head to the counter. Wait! Notch! I need to talk to you! Notch replied without looking back. I do not have time to sign your t-shirt, you crazy English kids. I have a party at my mansion to get ready for. Milton looked down at his t-shirt, which he had not realised bore the likeness of a creeper by sheer coincidence. Drat! He thinks I'm a crazy fan! Craig opened his eyes.
Where are we?
We're in a 7-Eleven in America, Craig. I found Notch, but we need to get out because the Mexican clerk guy called the police. Craig sat up quickly.
Why am I all frozen?
Milton ignored Craig's feeble moaning and quickly hatched a plan in his head. I'm going to sneak out past the beef jerky aisle and wait outside, and then we ask him how to hack into Minecraft, okay? Sound good? Wake up, Tom. We need to go now. Milton began to crawl across the floor, while Craig and the freshly awoken Tom Bolden followed close behind. Stay close, guys. They don't call this the land of the free for nothing. Milton and the boys snaked across the slick, polished floor towards the exit, where Notch was leaving, clutching his beloved crate of lightly fruit-infused sparkling water. Don't let him get away, whispered Milton as they passed under the security gates.
Oh, what are we doing in the USA?
Inquired Tom Bolden as the boys exited the 7-Eleven and convened next to an ice machine. Notch lives here. It looks like we caught him in the act of getting ready for a big party. Craig nodded his head.
Yeah, I remember something about him buying a huge mansion in Beverly Hills, so we must be in Los Angeles, California.
Tom Bolden's eyes widened.
The City of Angels!
Milton peered over the top of the ice machine. All right, guys, he's moving across the street. Keep your eyes on his stupid hat. That way we'll never lose him. The boys continued to track Notch through the miasmic smog of the Beverly Hills shopping district, finding it almost impossible to concentrate on Notch through the sheer number of celebrities everywhere. Milton counted on his fingers having seen Kevin Hart, Ellen DeGeneres, and a man who looked an awful lot like Charlie Sheen. After 40 minutes of hot pursuit, the three boys managed to track the fat Swedish man to his secluded hilltop dwelling, a grand 23,000-square-foot abode complete with an immense infinity pool, and the most impressive view of the west side known to man.
Apparently this thing cost him $70 million,
whispered Craig as the boys crouched down behind a very well-pruned hedge. Shut up, Craig. Look, he's going in, hissed Milton, observing Notch as he waddled up to the front gate, which opened promptly with a buzz as he walked through, whereupon it closed quickly behind him. Blast! How are we going to get in? Tom Bolden stroked his chin.
Well, maybe we could try digging underneath?
Like in Minecraft! Perfect! Declared Milton, kneeling down and attempting to scrape away at some of the soil below him. Oh, it's no use. The sediment is too coarse here. Got any other stupid ideas, Darksluff?
Oh, hold on, guys,
remarked Craig, indicating a group of people heading up the path towards the gate.
It looks like more people are going in.
Partygoers, by the look of it. Why are they all dressed up funny like that? Queried Milton, referring to the red, white and blue get-up that the Americans exhibited. Tom Bolden checked his phone.
July the 4th! It's the day of American independence!
Milton snapped his fingers. Perfect. We just need to incorporate ourselves with this crowd of guests and then go through the gate. Milton and his friends snuck out from behind the hedge and joined the small gathering of LA folk at the gate. A large, friendly man dressed up as Uncle Sam turned to Milton joyfully. Hey, dudes! You bros here for the party? Milton cleared his throat and put on his best American accent. Yeah, my dude. Can't wait to get a burger. Sit down. Drink a couple martinis on the rocks. The fat guy nodded in approval, offering a fist bump. Hells yeah, my old broski! This party's gonna be wild! Milton, Craig, and Tom Bolden moved with the rowdy group up to the front door, a postmodern design comprised of a white stone and glass. Inside, Notch's party was already well underway. The boys peered around, exalted at the sights before them. Bright flashing lights and a lot of moving bodies, accompanied by the loud throb of the latest house anthems pulsated through the foundations of the building. Women and men of tanned complexion frolicked in the infinity pool and strutted around with the luminescent drinks of many colours.
Milton, I don't feel as though I belong here,
spluttered Craig, looking around anxiously. Don't be such a flannel, Craig. Blend in. Grab a beverage and... let's find Notch. Milton approached a nearby serving woman dressed in a tight black skirt, matching black tights, and unexpectedly large black boots. Curiously, not the same get-up as the rest of the waiters and waitresses, who wore red and blue stars and stripes. Milton was taken aback by the woman's flowing ebony hair and brooding expression, nearly forgetting to take the drink from the tray she held forth. Hi, excuse me, do you happen to know where Notch is? Asked Milton in his faux American accent. The woman smiled coquettishly.
You mean Marcus? He's in his private suite downstairs.
She looked down at the creeper face on Milton's t-shirt and lowered her brow.
Oh, and you definitely won't be let in with that on your shirt. Notch doesn't like being reminded of his past endeavors.
Yeah, okay. Swell, replied Milton, grabbing a drink and returning to his friends who stood awkwardly in the centre of the big rumpus. Guys, come on, we've got to go downstairs. Notch is in a private suite away from the rest of the party. The trio made their way down to the edge of the crowd and past a shiny car that was parked inside for some reason. Down here. Remember not to mention Minecraft immediately, because apparently he just wants to forget about it. The boys moved along a blank white hallway. Pictures along the wall showed Notch hanging out with various other celebrity alumni. Uma Thurman, Adam Sandler, and another man who looked an awful lot like Charlie Sheen. They passed the famed Candy Room, a room with large tubes of cheap sweets, and a room full of sad old PC games, with no evidence of anything Minecraft-related. Eventually they came to a door at the end of the hall, which exhibited a sign that read, Private.
This has to be it!
Declared Tom Bolden excitedly. Yeah, no shit, idiot! Hissed Milton. Right, on 3, we're just gonna bust in. 1, 2, 3! Milton pushed the door open, exposing a scene of unbridled hedonism. Notch stood in the centre of the room, alongside 2 bikini-clad girls, wearing large cardboard masks of a creeper and Steve head respectively, all dancing to C418's Wait. Notch quickly brandished the foam diamond sword he was holding in panic. Stop right there! You're not supposed to be in here! Notch, we just need to talk. Lower the diamond sword, buddy, requested Milton, holding forth his own pucker bayonet. It's you, the creeper shirt boy from 7-Eleven. You've snuck into my party. Notch addressed his 2 dancing girls. Babes, you must leave. I'm sorry for this disturbance. The 2 girls fled the room promptly. Milton watched them run down the hall, then turned back to Notch. Okay, Notch, I know what you're thinking. Why have these British teenagers tracked me down to my house and threatened me at blade's length? I may just be here, nodded Notch angrily, his fists clenched tight. Milton narrowed his eyes. Okay, I'm just going to cut to it. What can you tell us about Herobrine? Notch's face suddenly went pale. He talked in a hoarse tone. You should know better than to bring that name into my household. Well, we just did. Now sit down, explain yourself, then we'll tell you what happens next, demanded Milton, indicating for Notch to take a seat in a chair. He obliged and began to impart the necessary information. Not many know this, but Herobrine is not my dead brother, for I have no brother. No, Herobrine was a glitch, but no ordinary glitch. It all started some years ago back in my Sweden home when I was up late programming before the game's full release. It was a very stormy night with lots of thunder and lightning, and I could not sleep. So I turned on my computer and began to do a little bit of coding, as I would when I could not sleep. All of a sudden there was a flash of light and my lights cut out. Lightning had struck my house and the power had gone out. When I turned on my monitor, I was faced with a green arrow screen that displayed a message in a language that did not make sense. When I managed to get everything up and running again, I was faced with the sudden appearance of Herobrine as you see him, the player with the white eyes. He told me what there was a demon from another dimension, and I was to do his bidding and ship the game as it was, with this virus in it. I could not stay long after that. I had to leave. Milton rubbed his chin. So you didn't leave Minecraft for the money then? You left it because you were scared of Herobrine? Notch hung his head. Yes, of course, Minecraft is like my baby child. I did not want to leave it, which is why you see me partying with the foam sword even now. Milton continued to hypothesize aloud. It's my guess that this early build was infected by a cyber demon, one of the frightful 55. It probably wants to take over the game and do God knows what. We've got to get back to Minecraft HQ and put a stop to it. Notch looked up suddenly. No, I can never go back. Oh, come on, you big fat idiot baby. You just need to get us to the mainframe. We'll do all the work from there. Notch narrowed his eyes. Who are you people? How did you know that Herobrine is a demon? Milton brushed the question off. Don't worry your head about it, Mark. Now let's set off. Come on, follow me. I refuse. I cannot leave this place. It is my comfort zone. No one can harm me here. When you got neighbours like Kim and Kanye, Gordon Ramsay 3 doors down. Good God, man, get a grip. Can't you see your life has clearly gone downhill since selling to Microsoft? You've porked out. Your fedora hardly fits your big fat head. Now let's get a shimmy on, or I'll tell everyone about that little dance you were having. Notch got to his feet, defeated. Very well, but I'm not happy about this at all. Milton waved his blade. I don't care. Now where's Minecraft HQ? Notch replied apprehensively. Stockholm. The Mojang headquarters is in Stockholm. Craig spoke up.
Stockholm? That's in Sweden, isn't it? How are we going to get there?
Craig, you fool! Did you already forget about my magical powers? We'll space transmutate there and bring Notch with us, decreed Milton. Trans what? Questioned an enraged Notch. Milton explained the process to Notch. It's a thing I can do. It's a bit like using a nether portal, to be honest. You're all out of your minds, protested Notch as Milton tied his hands behind his back with some party string. What is this? Am I now your prisoner? Effectively, yes, but we'll return you here once Herobrine has been defeated.
Try not to get Stockholm Syndrome,
punned Tom Bolden with a cheeky wink. The three boys and the captive Notch appeared at Mojang headquarters after the lengthy process of getting Notch to get into an airing cupboard and space transmutate with them. They came out through a door that conveniently led directly into the room where the Minecraft mainframe was situated, a series of hefty computers that fed the entire world infinite hours of block-based goodness. Milton noticed that Notch had gone a pale shade of white from the space travel. Buck up, Markus. We got a lot of work to do here. Notch muttered something under his breath, then shook his head. No, I don't understand any of it. I'm just going to get along with this and get it over with. It was midnight in Stockholm, and consequently there was no employees present within the building, not even the prolific lead developer, Jens Bergensten, who often stayed overnight to work on the latest mob or grass texture. Notch rubbed his temples as Craig and Tom Bolden looked around the office spaces, checking out all the cool Minecraft merch. Milton probed Notch for ideas. How the fuck are we going to do this? Have you got any way of getting into the game or something? I'm trying to think, replied Notch. There was something from a few years back. We were working on a build for Minecraft VR, but we couldn't quite get it working. I think we still have the suits. Milton chuckled. VR suits? What is this, the bloody 1980s? Notch began to peruse cabinets around the office. Do not mock the power of this virtual reality. It was discontinued because of its sheer realism. You feel like you are truly playing the game. It also made the testers throw up a lot. Oh, sounds really great. I love to throw up, said Milton sarcastically. Do we have another option? Replied Notch, opening a tall cupboard in the corner of the room. Holy shit, here they are! Notch removed a few limp rubber suits from the cupboard and laid them out on the floor. They were purple with orange accents and had many coloured wires spewing from them. A headset was built into the top that was not visually dissimilar to a toaster. Well, these look fucking stupid, decided Milton. Notch had already got to hooking up the suits, up to one of the various computers around the room. This was part of the reason why they did not go commercial. Now I'm going to need your Minecraft usernames and passwords for this step so I can hotwire you into the system, okay? Okay, fine, but don't go sneaking on our accounts after this is over. Tom Bolden and Craig had re-entered the room by this point, and Milton relayed the plan to them. After a few minutes of procrastination, they had compiled a list of everyone's usernames and another 3 separate pieces of paper detailing each individual's password, so no one else but Notch would be able to see. Notch looked at the scrap of paper and snorted. Darksluff Mohovesan Ninja Overlord. Oh, what a pointless bunch of names. Milton retorted. Shut the fuck up, you big fat fuck! What the fuck does Notch mean anyway? Notch grumbled something and silently returned to getting the VR tech up and running. After 5 minutes of Milton continually drumming his fingers onto the table, the suits were activated and ready to go. Now you must be careful to stand on these motion pads which will track your live movement into the game. And whatever you do, don't take the headset off until I say so or your vision could be permanently damaged.
Well, Minecraft sure has changed a lot,
joked Tom Bolden. The Milton Craft trio suited themselves up in the purple suits, which were not at all roomy in the crotch vicinity, and exuded a rather stale odour. Wires were attached on their arms, legs, and spines, which would apparently hook the game up to the player's nervous system, a notion which did not excite the boys greatly. Notch sat down in a chair and donned a pair of headphones. I'm going to be your, a man on the outside when you go into the game. I will be communicating with you via voice only. Okay, now are you all ready? We will discuss the plan of action when you get into the game. I'm ready. What about you guys? Milton addressed his friends, who nodded nervously in response. Let's do this. Notch flicked the switch, and the boys put the goggles over their eyes. Everything went black. Milton opened his eyes. 1 trillion pixels lay before him, arranged into compact cubular blocks, organised in such a way that they created sprawling grasslands, jutting landmasses, and deep oceans that all lay before him. A cube-shaped tear trickled down Milton's square face. "It's beautiful. There's no render distance. I can see everything." Milton stepped forwards and clocked his foot, a stumpy, rigid rectangle that bore the design of the Minecraft skin he had made earlier that year, a depiction of himself with a cool purple hoodie and a vibrant green hair. "By God, I'm Ninja Overlord!" Milton walked across the pixelated grass, overjoyed at the feeling of it brushing against his legs, towards a chunky brown tree. He knew what to do next. It was time to give the tree the old 1-2, the primary method of obtaining wood before any tools were required. Milton smashed his oblongal fist into the flat plane that was the tree's bark. There was a feeling of massive impact, but no pain as a crack started to show in the tree. "I'm a tree-punching machine!" Milton finished walloping the bark and picked up the wood that sprang forth.
"Hey, Milton, I see you've got wood,"
joked the familiar voice of Tom Bolden, kitted out in his classic naked pink man skin from the Darkcraft server days. "Holy shit, Darksluff! This is great! I can touch and feel everything! Hang on, give me a high five!" The friends engaged in a blocky high five. Darksluff giggled.
"Hey, open up your inventory. I've got some goods for you."
"How do I open my inv? There aren't any keys to press."
"Your pockets, of course. Here, I've got some tools for you."
Darksluff began to unload miniature items onto Milton, who gladly accepted, stuffing the array of pixelated commodities into his flat pockets, which somehow seemed to have no space limitations. Craig appeared next to Milton and Darksluff in his classic hitman skin, wielding a wooden hoe.
"Hey guys, this is so great, isn't it? I can't believe we're actually in Minecraft. I just went up to a pig and stroked its back. It felt so real."
"Boys, can you hear me?" boomed a voice from seemingly all around. Milton looked up towards the blue sky but saw nothing but the big square sun above them. "Whoa, what was that?"
"It's me, Notch. I have console so I can talk to all of you no matter where you are. Right, so you're now in the original world that Herobrine spawned in. This was the world that I was testing in on that fateful night when the storm struck my house."
"And you think he's more likely to be here?"
"Yes, although his calling has trickled it out into every copy of the game by now, I'm sure this is the place that we will find him the most. Now, you must look for any irregular block formations or big holes. This is how you will know he is near."
"Just like in the creepypasta. Okay, got it." The boys set about searching the vast plains biome for anything out of the ordinary. As they did so, the slow, familiar, melancholy tune of Subwoofer Lullaby began to play, coming from absolutely everywhere.
"Guys, come over here, quick!"
announced Craig, standing next to a mighty overhang, leading down into a wooded valley.
"A village!"
A village was indeed below them, of the traditional Minecraft configuration, a cobblestone church, various wheat farms, a library and a blacksmith's, all connected by a neat gravel path.
"You can see all the little villagers,"
noted Craig, referring to the bald, big-nosed men shuffling around the small hamlet. "We'll call it Milltown," proclaimed Milton.
"What?"
protested Craig.
"But it's Craig's world! I was the one who discovered it!"
"The Native Americans discovered America, Craig, but do you think they were the ones who named it? No, that was Chris Colombo. Now, last one there's a baby zombie spawn egg." The three cubular friends descended the cliff face and came down upon the small town.
"Wow, guys! We should totally set up a base here,"
suggested Darksluff excitedly. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to be on the watch for Herobrine. He could be lurking anywhere around here."
"In that case, I'm gonna go get going with some strip mining,"
said Darksluff.
"Maybe hit up some diamonds. I'll see you guys in a bit."
Darksluff brought out a stone pick and legged it off towards the cliff face, where he began to dig downward in a diagonal direction.
"Oh no, Milton. Look at this."
Milton turned to see what Craig was pointing towards. A nearby outcrop of trees had been completely stripped of their leaves, reduced to mere logs shooting up from the ground. The voice of Notch echoed from the skies above.
"Oh no, that's the work of Herobrine. I don't know why. It's some kind of twisted inversion of what the player does."
"Alright, so he's in this world. We need to get some armor going. Craig, you go and get smelting what we've already collected, and I'll go and scavenge the village for goods. We don't have long before night falls, so I'd like to get properly equipped." Craig nodded his big yellow head and ran into the blacksmith's, while Milton sauntered around the village collecting and trading. Gradually, the big square sun slipped down behind the perfectly straight line that was the horizon, and the moon came up. Likewise just a square. By this time, Milton and Craig had amassed a veritable arsenal of weapons, including bows and arrows and swords of varying strength. They had additionally kitted themselves fully in blocky iron armour and stood waiting in the village church-turned-stronghold, which had been overhauled into a heavily defended base, able to withstand even the most intrepid of zombie. I hope Darksluff comes back with some fucking diamonds soon so we can maybe get some enchantments. He's been down there for ages. He's starting to take the piss. Without warning, the familiar tss of a creeper sounded from just outside the walls, and Craig was blown backwards suddenly by an abrupt blast of gunpowder and smoke. "Holy shit! Creeper! Creeper!" cried Milton, brandishing his iron blade. Through the blasted hole in the cobblestone wall came another of the green horrors, 5 times as menacing when seen in the flesh. Thankfully, Craig's metallic armour had saved him from the blast, and he joined Milton to swipe at the hostile mob. "How dare you come in here!" screamed Milton, felling the beast only to see another emerge seconds later, followed by another.
How are there so many?
Cried Craig while swiping his blade frantically. "It's like something's spawning them," responded Milton. Through the gaping hole in the church, Milton could just make out the shape of another player on top of the village library. Tattered blue shirt, brown goatee, lifeless white eyes. It's Herobrine. "He's here." The figure crouched, clutching a green and black egg, and paused to look Milton in the eyes, causing a chill to shoot down his spine. The voice of Notch called out,
That's him! You found him! He's given himself a creeper spawn egg somehow. Try and see if you can shoot him down or something.
Milton took aim with his bow and shot, but the arrow flew overhead. Herobrine watched the arrow land behind him and then took off into the sky.
He's flying like he's in creative mode,
deduced Craig. The duo ran from the ruins of their base and assessed the damage. Almost all of the village's buildings were in complete ruin. Craters and pools of floating XP and items lay strewn every which way, and many of the vulnerable wooden houses were on fire. The remnants of a dozen murdered villagers and farm animals peppered the landscape. A drizzle started up. "Craig, this isn't good at all. He's got away and he blew up all the farms and all of our food chests," moaned Milton.
"No!"
wailed Craig, standing next to a solitary fence post.
"My horse, Storm Chaser, he blew him up."
"We can't let him get away with this, Craig. We need to level ourselves up and get better equipment so we're ready for him, if and when he comes back."
"I'm back,"
came a voice from behind them. The boys turned to see Darksluff, back from his underground caving adventure, kitted out in full diamond armour. Milton immediately responded with anger. "You idiot! You used up all the diamonds for yourself!" Darksluff didn't reply, instead showering Milton with 264 stacks of diamonds. "What the fuck? How did you get this many?" asked Milton in disbelief.
"Strip mining, baby,"
grinned Darksluff. Using Darksluff's stupendous diamond yield, the boys equipped themselves each in full diamond armour and a set of tools. The process of enchanting each artifact was performed by Darksluff, who had amassed an impressive amount of experience points from his brief but plentiful time in the caves.
You boys are rather good at Minecraft, I must say.
Admitted Notch over the console, impressed with how much they had advanced in less than 2 in-game days.
But unfortunately, Herobrine is much better. He has coded himself to be the best possible at the game. You will have to play very well to defeat him.
Milton, who was busying himself erecting a 10-block-high wall of obsidian around the whole village, responded. "You seem to underestimate our power here, for we have the Redstone Raider on our side." Darksluff, who was constructing an elaborate redstone mechanism underneath the village, cut in.
"Just a few more minutes until the trap is complete."
Notch laughed.
A redstone trap? You think redstone will stop Herobrine?
Milton descended his wall and spoke upwards to the disembodied Swedish voice. "This isn't just any old redstone trap. This is the ultimate redstone cobweb pit. The best way to defend your village." Craig returned from harvesting crops through a secret niche in the obsidian wall.
"Hey guys, I've stocked up on provisions. We won't ever need to get any more food ever again with all this."
Craig unloaded an entire chest full of pumpkin pie onto the ground near Milton.
"This much pumpkin pie, and you'll be drowning in pumpkin pie."
"Thanks, Craig. This will keep the engines running while we battle." Night fell, and Milton watched as the nightly hostile mobs began to spawn out beyond the perimeters of the village ramparts. A couple of zombies, a handful of spiders, and a single skeleton. Milton clutched his enchanted bow of Flame 1. He checked a clock placed in a nearby item frame. The dark half of the face pointed directly upward. Herobrine should be inbound if the previous night's events were anything to go off. Craig and Darksluff joined Milton at the top of the battlements. "This is it, guys. All our countless hundreds of hours playing Minecraft has led up to this very moment. Now it's time for our skills to really get put to the test."
"Holy shit! There he is!"
cried Craig. Sure enough, Cruising over the horizon lighter than air was Herobrine. Lightning struck the ground where he passed, and a heavy storm started up.
Oh no,
said Notch warily.
he's got it.
Got what? Snapped Milton, taking aim at the flying foe. Milton noted that the white-eyed monstrosity was carrying something in his hand. Something large.
What is that thing?
Cried Darksluff.
It's the Swedish bedrock broadsword, a ridiculously powerful weapon I created as a developer's secret joke. It was never meant to be obtained in the game. Oh god, a strike from that would kill you in one hit.
No worries, we've all got our beds nearby. We'll simply respawn, ascertained Milton, firing a well-timed arrow towards Herobrine, which he simply struck out of the way with the large sword he wielded. The monster blade was nearly the height of a player, and was comprised entirely of bedrock, with flame particles to boot.
That's just the thing,
said Notch solemnly.
One hit and it will crash the game. The motherboard will freeze and you will die. In real life.
No way!
Gasped Craig.
How is that possible?
The VR spinal attachments will malfunction and could leave you paralyzed or worse. This is why this technology was banned. I told you it would be a risk.
Then we've only got one shot at this, said Milton grimly, loading up a nearby dispenser with piping hot fire charges. Herobrine continued to advance, lightning striking the ground with every swipe of his giant sword.
Quick, we've got to coax him into the trap,
shouted Darksluff, taking cover from the electrical storm under an obsidian bunker with Craig. Herobrine descended upon the top of the church, nearby to where Milton was perched. The cold, lifeless white eyes turned to face Milton, boring into his very soul. "Right, Herobrine! You're about to become Zerobrine!" roared Milton, charging forward, wielding his heavily enchanted diamond blade, nicknamed Legendsbane. It made contact, and the evil demon player took a hit. Milton jumped out of the way to avoid the counter-attack. A huge swipe from the bedrock blade.
Milton, get down from there, it's not safe! If you take one hit, you'll die!
Cried Craig from below. "I can get him! They don't call me Ninja_Overlord for nothing!" Milton jumped up onto one of the church's crenellations and landed a critical hit on Herobrine, who fell back, unable to absorb the power of Milton's knockback 2 sword. Instead of going for another hit, Milton leapt from the rooftop to land in the middle of the village, taking no damage thanks to his diamond boots of feather falling. Herobrine cruised down, seemingly unfazed by the fight. It was unclear whether he had truly taken any damage at all. Milton shouted out to the demon through the intense rain, "Hey! This isn't a true crafter's fight with these weapons! We must fight with our fists, I say! It's the only way to truly prove our crafting worth!" Milton threw his diamond sword out in front where it floated and rotated on the ground. Herobrine said nothing, still staring dead-eyed at Milton. Without moving at all, he dropped his bedrock sword into the middle. Milton squatted 3 times in a row, as was customary before a Minecraft duel. The time to battle was now, and there could only be one victor. Milton charged forth and swung the first punch, a side blow that narrowly missed the side of Herobrine's square face. Herobrine retaliated, landing 4 consecutive blows to Milton, dealing 4 hearts of damage. Milton staggered backwards. A cube of red blood dropped to the grass below. "If you want to play the game like that, then so will I!" Milton sprinted forwards and propelled himself into the air, landing another critical hit on descent. Herobrine went in for another bash, but missed. Milton circled the demon, drawing him closer and closer to a hidden pressure plate among some well-placed grass. "Come on, you big fat foe! Land a hit on me!" Herobrine charged forward, far faster than should be possible in-game without speed potions or hacking. Milton moved out of the way at the last second, and the demon piled through the grass and activated the secret plate with a small tick. Within seconds, the layer of sod had given way and opened up like a huge scary mouth, swallowing Herobrine into the ground. Concealed below was Darksluff's most punishing redstone trap yet. 4 layers of cobweb with lava beneath. Dispensers all around spat arrows like nobody's business, all while fireworks shot out of the top to explode into colourful bursts and creeper faces in the sky above. A classic Bolden touch.
Yes! It worked!
Cheered Darksluff, joining Milton's side. Milton turned and scooped up the deadly bedrock blade, brandishing it in his hand. He looked over at the molten precipice, where Herobrine slipped ever closer to the hot bubbly magma below, looking up at them with its soulless white eyes. "I'll see you in the nether," said Milton, leaping into the pit. He came down upon Herobrine with full force, the Swedish bedrock broadsword felling the demon instantly, causing it to disappear in a puff of grey particles.
You did it!
cried the elated voice of Notch.
I'm pulling you out of there before the game starts to go crazy.
What do you mean? Milton looked around as he sunk downward into the cobweb trap. Slowly, all the textures around him began to replace themselves with that of Herobrine's face. Milton's vision began to warp and distort, blurring and multiplying as he looked around at the millions of emotionless faces. The glitching effect was accompanied by a searing pain to Milton's head and an impossibly loud, ear-piercing frequency. He looked up to his friends, who no longer wore their familiar skins, but instead had become Herobrine, staring down at him. "Make it stop! Turn it off! Turn it off!" Milton came to in Mojang headquarters, with Notch standing over him once more, his beardy double chin waggling up and down. "We have done it! Herobrine has been conquered!" Notch held up a small black USB stick. Milton struggled to his feet. He still wore the purple VR suit, but the wires had been detached. Craig and Tom Bolden sat shaking in their chairs nearby, Craig clutching a paper bag and intermittently throwing up into it. "Wait, is Herobrine on that memory stick?" asked Milton, massaging his throbbing head. "Yes," grinned Notch, holding the device aloft. "While he was distracted by fighting you, I was downloading him. It took a good half an hour, but everything that is and ever was Herobrine is on this tiny remote drive." Milton nodded and whispered under his breath. "Bird, blast that thing into the void." Milton's now silent Puccanarium familiar swooped from its concealment in his Attack on Titan backpack, which sat where Milton had left it in the corner of the room. The bird flew up to Notch, blasting the little USB with a zap of white thunder, causing it to abruptly vanish from reality. Notch reacted furiously, clutching his scorched fingers. "What the fuck? What did you just do?" Milton clicked his fingers and the bird returned to his backpack. "Don't get your little diamond panties in a twist over it, Notch. I've just properly disposed of a highly dangerous demon from another dimension. I don't think you'd understand." Notch grimaced. "Herobrine should have been left in my hands. He would have been safe under my control." Milton ignored Notch and strode across the room past his friends, who watched him with disbelief as he donned his backpack after removing the bloodstone chalice and his dagger. The chalice had filled up its irony ichor, which Milton guzzled quickly. "Delicious."
Was that you absorbing the demon's energy?
Guessed Craig. "Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? The more I do it, the stronger I get. Check out this bicep." Milton unveiled his slightly larger than average muscle, which Tom Bolden and Craig gathered around in awe, not noticing Notch quickly leaving the room behind them. "I've got you now, you little meddling bastards." The boys turned suddenly to see the Swedish oaf quickly locking the door with a swipe of his Mojang employee keycard. Tom Bolden held his hands to his cheeks in alarm.
"Oh, Notch has tricked us!"
Notch laughed, displaying his wonky, unbrushed teeth. "That's right, and I'm going to tell Jens that it was me who got rid of the virus. He will be pleased to hear that he no longer has to pretend that he's removed Herobrine with every update, and I will be reinstated as lead developer. As for you, young boys, I will now be calling the police, and you will be sent to Yale." Notch turned and began to waddle away, still chuckling to himself. Milton was seething with anger. He stepped forwards and held out his hand, not really knowing why. A coil of orange energy encircled his forearm. "Notch, come back here!" A huge ethereal arm shot from Milton's own palm, passing through the glass door and grabbing Notch by the scruff of his neck, to pull him back through the door with a loud smash. The shimmering orange talons held Notch struggling in the air. "Put me down! What witchcraft is this? You're a demon as well!" Milton turned to his friends. "Guys, you're gonna want to leave. You're not gonna want to see this." Milton emerged from the office 10 minutes later, rubbing his hands.
"Well, what did you do with him?"
asked Craig. "I hooked him up to one of those VR suits and put him back in that Minecraft world," Milton giggled. "Spawned in like 10 ender dragons to keep him company." Tom Bolden offered a high five.
"Nice one, Milton. And congratulations on that big orange arm. That came out of nowhere."
Milton looked down at his forearm, which no longer exhibited the ghostly orange coil. "Yeah, I hope I get to use that again soon." The three pals exited the door through which they had come via the power of space transmutation. In what seemed like no time at all, they found themselves back in Tom Bolden's bedroom in Bristol.
"Milton Hamley Oliver," came an all too familiar voice. "You've been a very bad boy."
Upon entry to the little bedroom, the boys were greeted by Milton's father, Jamie Oliver, who had been waiting patiently on Tom Bolden's bed for them to return. Sat next to him was Tom Bolden's little brother, Magnus, who looked suitably uncomfortable. "Dad, what are you doing in here?" asked the panicked Milton. Jamie stood up, towering over the young lads.
What do you think I'm doing here, Milton, for crying out loud? You haven't listened to anything I said. I'm absolutely fuming.
Milton stared down at his shoes. Is this because I ran away from the restaurant? Jamie interrupted his son.
It's because you told all your friends about the ordeal and Krog and the demons and then space transmuted with them, which I specifically told you not to do. And then you go around LA causing havoc and kidnap the creator of Minecraft. Do you know how long it took me to get him out of that bloody computer and wipe the memories of everyone involved?
Milton raised his eyebrows. But we only just did that?
No, Milton. I stalled your space travel. You've been travelling through the gummy zone for 3 days so I could have enough time to clear up your mess. Again.
Milton looked solemnly at the ground again. Oh, I'm sorry. Jamie sighed and sat back down on the little bed.
Look, I gave you one last chance and gave you a little bit of freedom. But it just seems, to me, like you're not cut out for this demon-slaying business.
Milton looked up desperately. No, Dad, I won't do it again. Please let me keep killing demons. It's the best thing I've ever done. Please, I swear I'll be good.
Pondered Jamie. Okay, but I can't trust your word anymore, so I'm gonna have to make a change.
What do you mean? Asked Milton. Jamie stood once more, walking to the door.
I've hired someone through an agency recommended by someone in the order. They're like a bodyguard. They're going to monitor you for your next mission and make sure you don't break the rules or do anything drastic. He's waiting outside. Let's go now. Come on.
Jamie ushered Milton to the door. Whoa, what about my friends? Milton turned to Craig, Tom and Magnus Bolden, who stood awkwardly around the room, not daring to speak in the presence of the mighty Jamie Oliver. Jamie folded his arms.
I'm going to wipe their memories as well. They're going to come to in like an hour, and the last thing that they will remember is what they were doing before you came in.
So, they won't remember any of that epic adventure we just went on?
Yep, and they'll think you're just a huge liar when you try and convince them that it happened.
Tom Bolden and Craig looked at each other. Craig spoke up hoarsely.
Don't worry, Milton. We'll believe you.
Jamie clicked his fingers and Milton's friends toppled to the ground in a small pile, completely unconscious.
Right, let's get out of here.
Jamie and Milton walked up the street away from the Bolden household.
I'm really not happy about this. It's probably my fault for letting you choose how you killed that last demon, to be honest. But this guy I've hired is apparently the best around. He's going to make sure that you stay on task, okay? Insisted Jamie.
Milton imagined the concept. Is he going to be like a mean and boring babysitter and push me around and tell me what to do?
Listen, all I've been told is that he gets the job done and he does it right. Look, there he is standing over there.
Jamie indicated a tall, caped figure standing at the brow of the hill. He was clad in matte black protective armour and wore a black mask and goggles, completely covering his face. His otherwise shaven head sported a tall black mohawk, and he held a high-tech rifle of a type Milton had never seen before. What the hell? Cried Milton in surprise. He looks like a bloody bounty hunter.
He's not a bounty hunter, he's an undercover bodyguard, okay? He's got to protect his identity,
affirmed Jamie as the black-clad figure approached steadily, exuding an air of extreme coolness.
His name is...
Jamie paused to read the name written in pen on his hand.
Zab El-Ark.
The masked man known as Zab nodded. Milton returned the greeting. Hey.
Alright, that's enough hellos for today. I'm going to shoot off now because I've got to film a school dinners thing.
Jamie cast a knowing eye to Milton.
Don't step out of line, Milton. All Zab has to do is drop me a signal on his handheld communicator device, and that's it. You're out.
Jamie made a cutting motion across his neck and paced off quickly down the road and out of view. Milton was left alone with his bodyguard. After several seconds of silence, Milton cleared his throat and spoke. So, Zab, you want to go and do something? Zab responded in a deep, pitch-modulated voice through his mask.
Yeah, sure. What are you thinking?
Milton scratched the back of his neck. I'm kind of hungry. You want to go get a burger? Zab nodded. his black goggles reflecting Milton's eager expression.
Hell yeah, bro.